The second property that we want to look at is that work has an unusual feature. So let's go look at what I mean by that. So the first thing here is that we got to be careful and define this distance. Okay. And the question is, what does the distance mean in work? Right? Isn't that a silly question? Of course, you know what distance is. But here it is. When I write the word work and I write the term force times distance, you may not have realized this. This distance term right here, it always must be changing position. If it's not changing position, then no work is being done. That's the unusual feature. So the unusual feature is if the distance is not constantly changing, then there is no work done on an object. Okay, there's no work being done on an object. And you may not think that that's an unusual feature, but let me show you this. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert a picture. And this little guy is an amazing man. And his name is Pocket Hercules. And Pocket Hercules weighs just under 150 pounds. I think he was like 148. And just to show you how unusual this is, this weight is 425 pounds. That is an enormous amount of weight. This guy's almost lifting 3 times his body weight. I don't remember whether he was Turkish or if he was Greek. He was from one of those two countries. And he did this during the Olympics, I believe, in 1976. So here's what we know about in weightlifting events. In weight lifting events like this, one must hold the weight stationary above their heads. I think it's 5 seconds. I don't think it's 10 seconds. I think it's 5 seconds. So you have to hold it. So maybe I should change this spelling here and make it nice and big. Stationary. This implies here is that at the top, the weight is stationary. And remember, this is the unusual feature. How much work is Pocket Hercules doing on the weight at this point? And the answer is no work is done on the weight. And that is a very tricky language thing. So there's no work being done on the weight or the bar. If there's no work being done, the question is, can Pocket Hercules hold up 425 pounds forever? And the answer is, of course not. So what we're really trying to answer here is this question. Is Pocket Hercules doing work at this point? And the answer is, he's absolutely doing work, because you know that he can't hold that forever. His body has to be working. So what we say that his body is doing work, even though his body is not changing position, right? Even though we don't see him move, he is changing position. So the question is, what's being moved, right? What's moving for Pocket Hercules? And the answer, what's moving, is his blood. So when you're looking at this, what do you find? Well, you find that his heart is applying a force to his blood. And what do we call this? We call that the force. And then what happens? What happens next? Maybe I should do this. And then what happens next here is that now, as his heart applies this, we find that his blood inside is moving some distance. It's moving some distance. So now if we see that, we could see here is that now we have a distance. And this is the work done by the body of Pocket Hercules. So when we talk about you doing work, so when one goes to the gym, let's just say the gym, and you work out, what you mean by working out is that your heart applies a force and moves your blood. And again, that's what we mean by what? A workout. So a workout does involve a force and a distance.